Great morning. Great morning. How are y'all doing? Everybody like how's everybody doing today?
Just hope everybody's having a great day, great Tuesday.
Yeah, but like, well, what's happening in the world of the NFT space and the crypto space? Yeah, everybody knows it's in the red right now, but oh well.
Yeah, we just ride it through. It's a roller coaster. You don't even look.
It's a roller coaster. Everybody like, y'all quit? Nope, we ain't quitting. Nope, we're still here buying. So, but very selective of what we buy. So I'll say that I'm not going to say we're just like out there buying. I think it's funny just that we keep hearing everybody like, well, are NFTs over? That's like the big headlines of everybody's talking about. Listen, I mean, I looked at even when I was from some of the articles, and I think we're going to cover some of that today. Of looking at, if you want to say, okay, well, yeah, NFTs are down 80-90%. Okay, they're down. Ethereum's the same thing. It's all correlated to the crypto space. So, I mean, I could see many people keep talking about, well, they're completely dead, or they listen. You can say whatever you want to say. That's fine. Yeah, some of the projects that we see, yeah, they're dead. We've been talking about those ones that's going to die a long time ago. So,
yeah, because there were so many projects out there that were just like copy paste projects and didn't have any utility behind them, and people were just buying them, not caring who's the team, if it had a community. And so lots of projects are going to be, of course, dead. But if you're investing in those projects, they have the right team, they have the right community, even the right partnerships for the right money to be able to do the things that they say they're going to do, then you're a safer bet. So we definitely, like I say, we have invested in a lot of those different projects, and there's some that you just try to do because maybe you're interested in it, especially with NFTs. Maybe there's artists and things that they were doing, and so you're putting that money out there. But they may be down, but the technology and everything that utility that NFTs are going to be able to give you it's a game changer. So especially when it comes into the games and the assets. So if you're saying it's dead, I can understand, just because maybe you're saying that because of the market price, but NFTs are 100% not dead.
Yep. I think everything, when you're instead of just coming in, and thinking about, hey, are they dead? Do your own research to get an understanding as far as I was saying a little earlier. If you're saying that NFTs are dead, that means crypto would be the same scenario. Because I mean, you look at Bitcoin, you look at Ethereum but even if you look back from the last year, how far has that dropped? You're talking about 50, 60, 70%, at least 50% on many of them. Especially with BTC being as high as 60,000 and now it's at 19,000, you're in the same scenario. So if you're going to look at the NFT space and say, well, oh, it's dead because it's obviously we're in a bear market, but again, we're still super excited about the NFTs and the potential that they have. But correlate the two as far as, okay, if NFTs were the only things that were down and BTC and Ethereum, all those cryptocurrencies were still up high, then I'd be like, hey, you have really a legitimate thing to say that, hey, maybe they are disappearing and stuff. But when you see that Ethereum and BTC, those being some of the top ones in crypto, if those are down 40-50%, yeah, there's a lot. And if there was no war and all these different things in the overseas and all the different things that are happening, yeah, you got a legitimate thing to say. But just be understanding when what you're saying. But again, as we have been saying for months, Jessica, those copy paste projects, yeah, they're dead. They will probably never ever come because they were never meant to be here in the first place. And so, if you're going to go on and research some of the solid projects that are still out there, you're going to be. I'm not going to say we are not your financial advisors. Let's get that on the record. We're not saying just go out and just start buying crazily, but you can go on and buy some pretty good NFTs now at a very great price.
Okay. Yeah, awesome.
So,
And
so
so
just
some
something.
we're going to start sharing some of the stuff that we were going to go over today. Of course, all of us that know that at least are in the artifact community and projects, there have been some announcements in regarding to the clone forging events that are starting to come up. Yesterday, well, this week they let the lookbook come out, which was I believe yesterday that it released, and so for a lot of you that don't know, of course, if you own the Clone X, you're able to forge your Clone X clones or get access to special events by having the NFC chip that are connected to these physical items also. So there's a lot of things behind how some people are very excited about now. You'll find be able to get these physical items, be able to, if you want to wear them in the metaverse or in the real world, you're now able to start doing that and identify with your clones because of course, even with these clones, there are going to be IPs behind them. And so lots of branding and things that you can do. And so lots of people, depending on what they are doing in the space, are very excited about finally getting those physicals for the DNA for the specifically to the clones. And are you saying that? I'm sorry.
No. I
Okay,
was
I thought I heard something. And
it's not
so
on my computer screen, but no.
okay, and yeah, and so they when they did drop this lookbook, they did come on and talk about show you some of the Genesis collection. And so for everyone that holds a Clone X, no matter the DNA, they are entitled to the Genesis collection, not for free. There is going to be one item in that Genesis collection that you are able to get. Oops, I went and bypassed it. Let me click on it and then click View Collection. And so you see here, they're going to have the shirts. This is going to be the item that you will be able to get as a gift. But as you see, all the other like the caps, socks items, they do have small amount fees currently, especially depending on which way ETH is going right now. Will depend on that price, of course. Each collection also, you can see they are having some of the hoodies. This is going to be the Genesis collection hoodie. And you do see this front barcode. That is the one I say that has that chip. So, of course, if there's access or events that you can get access to, you'll be able to just wear your items into those exclusive events or get access to exclusive places by that technology.
That's so crazy just to think about that. Like now you're wearing stuff to get to for entry. But it's no different than having a QR code when you're trying to catch the airplane, your boarding pass.
Yes.
Same scenario. You got your boarding pass, and so just to see it on clothing now. And like I said, I know some things have definitely been there, but that's actually really getting excited for some of these things.
Yes, right. Yeah, and then you see each selection also even has it goes down to, you're talking about from the head to the feet. You have the shoes. Of course, right now, this shoe can be bought. You can mint it to your Genesis collection, but right now it cannot be forged. So once the second window opens this first week, they'll be having the forge event till September 7th. And then from the 7th to the 14th, it may be September 6th. I'll double check that. But then from the 7th to the 14th, they have you actually go in to put in your address. If you haven't already set an account, make sure you pick your size and select your sizes. And each collection item that you own with your Clone X, you can get 2 items each. And so just to put it out there, you can get the shoes. You won't be able to forge them yet, but they will be able to be forged. You have to remember, of course, you're in the process of everything being developed. They're putting all the things they have with Nike in place and the distribution. So there are certain things with right now that may not be possible. There's other shoes that we forge also that will start coming out in September. So once the train gets moving, you'll start seeing the forge events happening like back to back, and then you're able to get them sooner than the expected time frames. And so this is the Genesis collection that is specific to, of course, if you just hold a clone, not specific to the DNA. And then, of course, if you do have a specific clone that has a DNA, even if we'll pick some of the more commies also, you can see that that they're going to allow you to be able to also mint the specific DNA. So if you hold an angel clone, these are going to be the shirts, the long sleeve shirts, even some of the hoodies that you do see here. And each one does have their own hoodie. And then on this specific one, they do also have a jacket. It's actually I don't want to say the wrong word, translucent, I believe. But they were showing some of the things on like how it actually is on the avatars and how it looks. So right now, maybe with the background, you can't tell how it will actually appear and look. But there's another picture of also of that online. And so you see there's the hat, the socks, even in also, of course, the pants that you'll have.
I know we talked about the peep in the pants, Jessica. Because it seemed like even from what when we looked at all the different ones that we have, like the pants seem like they're just the same black pants, And
Yes.
so we did do some calculations there. Yeah, you're gonna spend some money. If you want to participate in the forging, there is going to be a cost. And depending on how many Clonexes you have, there's going to be a bigger cost. So that's gonna be, you have to select. I'm like, we don't need black pants in all of our stuff.
Right.
Same black pants.
Right, and then that's also depending on their what are they trying to do? Are they just trying to have one to wear, and then like they put one to wear and one to stock? Are they trying to have one down the line that they want to resell? And so they may be specific items you want to get. If you're trying to do that, you may want to, right now you can't forge the shoe. Sometime down the line you would, and depending on whose shoe you, and if you can get that shoe, of course, with the DNA, then you may just buy two of the shoes. But like she said, from the head to toe, I believe it's like $1,000 or so. But ETH will go one way or another right now. So I don't know if your ETH is caught up in the moment, or if you could be able to, you probably can definitely get some more ETH if you need to. But I know a lot of people also caught up with the market trying to return back right now. And then you even have with the Murakami, they actually are a benefit of able to mint up to like almost 31 items. Not specific this one. This Murakami one is going to be like if it's a full straight drip Murakami, not with the traits. And so you're entitled with this one. You can see the prices are still about the same for each one. It may have a different look of what type of jacket that you may be able to purchase. And of course, there goes the socks, shoes, and hat, and then the shoe once again. And so it's not a higher priced item specifically, like because it's the Murakami, which, cause especially when you have to buy Murakami drips, those are a lot expensive right now. But this one right here, which, some of the Clonex have that trait of the Murakami. This one, they're entitled to the Genesis Plus these collection. So they actually, are able to mint a higher amount of items just because of how they're entitled with the traits. And so there's more breakdowns on some of that stuff on their Twitter page. So if you are looking to buy some of this stuff, you can definitely go to their Twitter page, see what they're saying, see what what the community is also responding with.
That sweatshirt and that hoodie looks that's nice. That one's like fire. I do like that one. That's
yes. So you say
we have a debate over here at my house trying to figure out which one of my kids is trying to take some items. So that is a discussion.
And they're gonna be able to get it too.
They're gonna be able to get it too.
Yeah. And then you guys can even see, each item you're able to get two of each of your selection. And so if you wanted two of the sweatshirts, two of the socks, you are able to get up to two of those items specifically. You cannot go any further than that, than the two. Oops, I went down one. And then that's why some of these will show a supply of like 60. If you actually went back and did some of the numbers, you'll see that there may only have actually been, 50 or something, or 30 or something. And so the numbers are the maxing. And each supply has its own count. You can see the max supply is 11,000. But maybe everybody won't mint a specific item. Maybe they only want the shoes. And so that would make the supply more down too. So that one I can't look at the DNA just yet.
Somebody said the robot vest is nice.
Oh yeah, the utility vest that they have. That's right. We're gonna pull that up. They have it. The robot has utility vest. I like that too. I was like, oh, I can get that one too. And if you have multiple clones, which many people do, you can choose if you want to do the double up, or I believe if you had two robots, then you can actually do 4 vests or something. So this is the robot vest, utility vest they're referring to. And then you see this has its own price. So it not only also gave you the sweater, but as you can see, some of the other ones changed how the jacket is. And this one is specifically, like she said, I want to actually get a couple of the utility vests, even if you're not wearing them, because believe me, we were talking about this yesterday and all kinds of stuff about, right now we know it's dominantly ran and by a lot of men are in the space. Once women
let's talk about that.
Yeah, because I was like, they have shown cute dresses and all that, but this time around we did not get to forge. To me, in my mind, it's probably a lot of the things like some of this stuff is like you can always do the shirts and and hoodies. They're like everybody does that. So when it does come to some of that other fashion that we've seen, especially on the women's dress lines and stuff like that, I believe it should be coming. But I guess because the space is mostly also 90% of male, or right now women are coming into this space and stuff. But because of that,
this is a great opportunity. I think it's a great opportunity for them to try to get more women involved by having. But I understand the aspect of business to where you have to make sure you're going to be able to sell the items that you want. But having at least some variation on one of the lines, even if it was just one item to start off, I think would be a good start. Because again, if you're going to try to get women to come into the space and to buy your item, you got to have some stuff for the women to buy, for some items, and then
100% how I
more.
feel.
Listen, if you get women behind your project, listen, I don't listen. If you get women behind it, it really, to me, I feel like you can get on board with more, bringing more people into your community. So that's just my thoughts on that. But we thought we should say something about that. We do love the items, but having some more items for the women, I think, would actually be even nicer.
Yeah, because like I said, I can probably count. I know the community is very small, but it's also very welcoming. And so I've seen, we went to the event, so we've seen how many women are in the space. We know it is mostly dominated by the men in the space right now for some, but we've been here a lot earlier than lots of people were even in this space, and so we were there amongst those people buying and believing in artifacts, especially when the space strips first come out, back to the ferocious strips and all like that. So been following and been collecting, and it is something to see. They're working on it. I think, hopefully, I've heard some things, so we'll see what can happen. But like I said, definitely would be nice if even just one dress or a women's tee or something. So, but
Yeah.
I understand. I guess it's the beginning, and so maybe they've looked at their numbers, but still, like you say, to have something else that we can
Just the
also
version of
put on.
a women t-shirt, having
Mhm.
that option for a t-shirt for women, that's a step. Like I said, I don't think they need to go overboard. Like I said, I get the cost of business, but I don't think you have to go overboard of starting to do so. But a t-shirt, a V-neck t-shirt for a woman would actually be pretty nice also. So I should throw that out there. But no, I mean, some of the stuff is really, really good. The Murakami one, that white one with even the socks. When I look at that Murakami with the traits, that one is kind of like, that's, even the socks are nice on that one.
Yeah, even the
Just,
socks are nice, and this is one of the ones that will have the higher collection because, of course, lots of the traits are human. But even when you have some human, you can get traits of like Murakami with some of those humans. So, but this is one that will have the higher count that you can see sometimes, especially if you're deciding to do your NFTs or do them. You may want your actual human on there. I'm not too sure if you actually get to do that or if this human will now be the set one. I haven't seen anything like that because it did say DNA, but I don't know if there's a standard one because this one actually kind of looks robot. But I guess more of that will be coming out when you are also placing your items, ordering your items, and everything like that. Then, of course, the sweaters, and then also even just the shoes. So some people may just, like I said, they may come in for shoes and sweaters. Some may be wanting a piece of every item. And then, like I said, the pants you don't have to get multiples of, but it's still you are looking to spend some money, and that's it's also put out there. We shared the article how Nike made like even just 185 million by being into the metaverse space with artifacts. So it can be game changing for both them as a business, no matter what. They are connected, like I said, with Nike to be able to distribute a lot of these items, and now they can brand to different ones. So it's pretty cool. Their brand, of course, with this is getting built out within under the Nike window too. So you got to understand that lots of times a lot of these items you may be buying, but these are more so for your personal items or the IPs that you may have or you may be trying to develop. And not to say that you're looking to actually resell these items to someone else. But of course, if someone else comes in down the line and you sell one of your items and you have items that can go along with that, you can sell a whole bundle. So it's just looked at in different ways.
and I think even when you looked at the shoes, Jessica, even if the details of how they you showed that yesterday on the training, the front of the shoes, of how just the details of how they put the vial things on the front of the shoes.
Oh yeah, how they put the Clonex vial on it. I think is it this one that's better to tell it. Oops. Let's see here. I think that you can see it up here. So yeah, so this is like the Clonex vial. Remember when we first got the Clonex, they came in the vial before we revealed them. And they actually had, I don't know if they have a better picture of it. But yeah, so a lot of the things that they are putting in with the detail, like you said, this is getting built out. And so this is something that's going to be okay. The brand may not be known, but at some point, you're expecting to know it as just like as you would with the Jordan brand, with the Converse brand, whatever it may be. You're expecting the brand to become known like that, be every day in different stores and have its own. And then you can have your own, whatever IP you develop, because that's one of the most powerful things with the NFTs. And depending on the projects you are are buying is the actual IP that behind those, and then what you can create. And we'll also share some of the other stuff. And this is one of the ones they were talking about with the angel jacket. It is translucent. And so, and then it says lots more surprises. So there's lots of things. I don't know if they have something digitally playing through this, or if it can have a digital, like
I'll
it's
say
pretty.
stuff like that.
Yeah, now I'm gonna double up on this one for sure. But so that's pretty cool. Like, yeah, you see lots more surprises. So, you know, a lot, especially when you're talking about a brand or a group of people that they're building for the future of things, and even behind them with fashion and gaming, and they have different experience with brands. And so each member of the team is, you know, bring something to the table that's a benefit. And so, yeah, so a lot of these are coming out. You don't yet know what this means just yet. It is translucent, but it does have surprises. We do know how the shoes are with their crypto kicks, how those are actually have screens and stuff in them. So digitally looking things, and how the fashion game will be changed by a lot of the technology that is built into them. And as I said before, the opportunity of now being able to walk into or get private access or to private events, or to, you know, just lots of different things that you can now do or will be able to do if you're just having this NFT or this sweater. And remember, you can't sell the NFT if you have the sweater, and you actually, the NFC travels with that sweater. So if you do buy the sweater and then you sell the NFT, and you walk into an event and it's not connected to an NFT, you will not get even. Please
like,
don't.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Oops, I'm sorry.
I think you just say that one more time.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yes.
If you bought the sweater and you have it and you forge it, and it's getting shipped to your house, and then you go sell the NFT that is supposed to be attached to that sweater, and that sweater gets you access to private events or private stores or whatever it may be, you will not get into that event without the NFT attached to the sweater. So some people have been selling them, and some people probably might be buying them because they're going to know in the end, somebody gonna need this, because it's only the only amount of NFTs out are the amount of NFTs that physical item has. There's not going to be more in it. So some people may have many of those items right now, and so they're not looking at it like, you know, I can get into the event no matter what. But if they also go to doing exclusive events that, hey, it had to be a DNA of an alien, or hey, it had to be a DNA of an angel, that's where it get a little more tricky, where you can't just be like, I'm going to get in with any NFT from the artifact. It may have to be specific to a DNA and things like that. So you just want to be careful when you are doing some of the things, and you're very early. So,
because I was gonna say, even they definitely need to make sure, as far as, you know, like you mentioned a little earlier, as far as the dates of when before the forging happens, as far as, you know, people who may come back and sell their Clone X's, just understand, if you pass some of those dates, that, so double check the dates and the deadlines of when you're going to be able to buy these items and when you'll be able to forge these items, so that you're not buying something that you're still thinking you're going to be able to forge and it's already been forged. That's so right. You know, make sure you're double checking those dates and times, so that you're in those guidelines. If you're someone who's still looking to buy, not to say that you're coming out and looking to buy these, but if you are, you need to know what you're doing, because that's the worst thing that happens to a lot of new people, is they come in, they think they're buying something that they're going to get the rights to be able to get something else for, and it's like, okay, that's already been forged or that's already been claimed. You do get the item, but as Jessica said, you know, you just won't get the benefits of getting some of the forged items if you wanted that.
And the utility, like you said, especially if it's access to somewhere and stuff like that, especially for the community, that people like being in and be able to go to exclusive events. And now, once you talk about, once a brand is really fully built out where it could be, and then of course with them, they know it's about also giving, you know, different, like right now they're talking about maybe doing one in Vegas. We've done some in New York. I know they've done things in LA. And so as it gets built out and people can actually think, because right now, like I said, if you're in the building phase, it's a lot of time being put out to these things being created and being put out. And so once they, you know, they can actually come get everything figured out, get everything distributed to at the, you know, with not waiting for weeks and stuff like that, then it'll start getting a move. And so just learn that you're really growing with it. And as it's going, it's been built out. And so if you can wait it out, that's fine. If not, some people may be in a predicament that, you know, no matter when they sell, they're still okay because they got it as an airdrop, or they got it when it was very low. And so even if you still sold now, you know, you're in the down market, lots of people don't want to sell, but life is life.
Yeah, it literally is. I think we've said that many times before. Make the best decision for you and your family when you're investing in NFTs, and even especially if you're investing in crypto, also same scenario.
That's right. And then this is like one of the chips that said NFT times NFC link. Hold on to your NFTs. You'll need to link it to your NFC once you receive the physicals. And so that's what I was referring to about, you'll need that NFT to link it to your sweater or to your shoes after you get it. And that way, that is your proof of item. You're not having to pull out your wallet, connect to different sites or connect to other things. Your actual physical items will be your access, and that'll be because that NFC link that they are providing with the clothes that you buy. And so definitely will be collector's items. But like I said, some of this stuff you have to wait for that time to go by to get the real true value of collectors. And of course, sometimes you don't. If you can see, sometimes if you would have sold it high with some of these clones too, you could have been 6-figure clones, 50,000 clones, different markets that you could have been able to be up and out, or you just still riding it through.
Yeah. Very good.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so we can kind of move on with it. We stay on the clones forever.
We can talk about that for a minute.
Yeah. And so, and then one of the things that was important to us, even, we've talked about a lot of times, the IP. And so this is the partnership. If you guys hadn't seen the latest video with Eminem and Snoop Dogg and how they're now using their clones even in their songs. And so, Snoop is doing his own fashion line. And so it'd be a benefit for him to, no matter what, use his clone, put it out there with his music, use it in the, they, of course, they have the money and the people already in place to be able to do this, and, the production teams and stuff like that. But as you can see, there's with more time that does go by, these are how brands will continue to be built out, how people will use their IPs, how they have full control over their IPs. And so it'll be a benefit to others too. Like some people are helping your brand if you put a brand out there, depending on when you put it out. It's not a high flux of people that are doing things. Some are. I'm not saying that nothing is going on, but I'm saying sometimes it's an opportunity too when you're the first. And sometimes the first could be putting out more money than you ever would have to. So sometimes you might want to watch to see if something worked for somebody, if they got enough funds to see, play with, and then you can come in and see what worked. And that's how it will happen even with a lot of things like the land and stuff. Some of these lands that are very early, somebody else might come out and make it easier. And so, but invest in the right things, or that will have people coming into them, or at least it looks like they will have people coming into them because the opportunity that will be able to be created with them. But
that was, I had people reach out to me like, hey, did you see, I'm like, wow. But I think again, yes, you do have to have the capital in regards to doing to the level of what they're doing some of these things at, but people who have that vision, again, and just you as a person that's in the space, or if you're buying NFTs, this is important to you. This is an opportunity for you to start figuring out, maybe like you said, maybe you don't have the capital to do exactly what they're doing, but you can see the potential of what can you do literally like right now with what you have available, especially if you have the IP on your items. And I think people take that for granted as far as when you do get items that have the IP available to them, of what the opportunities are out there for you, that are out there for you. There's a lot. There's literally a lot. This, because when you look at his clothing line, again, like not even about his music aspect, but the clothing line that he can potentially make capital from is a whole nother ball game in itself. So it has not stopped for him for what he's doing. Again, I say the same thing every year. I don't know if you care if you like him or not, but he's a great businessman as far as trying to stay ahead of the curve within this space. And if you just kind of go alongside of what he's doing and get some ideas from it, it can be very beneficial for you for what you may want to do with some of your items down the line. So I'm listening and looking.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm looking for sure.
Yeah, and to add to that, like this is another one of people doing stuff with their IPs. They've branded now, or partners with Eminem, and so they have like exclusive products that they've offered. Some are sold out, and it's so truthfully, depending on the price point, which they do show you, some of them are like $59. Some of these are great ideas. They're limited edition. But right now, because it's so early, some people may not, care that it's a limited edition Eminem Bored Ape item yet, because there's so many people that's not in the NFT space, and so they may not see how it's a benefit. But for you as an IP, if you're seeing it, looking at this, like, hold on, I have a Bored Ape or I have a clone. Well, now hold on, what are some other ideas that I can do? Like I said, when they go into finding the right brands to partner with, there are still stuff available. but it's just also looking at it as a whole, as some of the ideas of the things that can happen when you are using it as IPs, and you are trying to sell things. You can see they go further into, wedding and gifts, and then you being able to customize. And so for a lot of people, if you are early and you're able to get some of these partnerships, because of course Bored Ape has already been out there now, some of the value, a lot of celebrities are in them. So even so, Eminem, came on and probably was like, no problem. I don't know if this is one person's Bored Apes or multiple people that partnered in on it, but it's just showing you some of the opportunities that you have once you do have those IPs. It's you can of course create your own brand, but you can also make those partnerships with brands if you're with the right NFT, if you have it, that they would be interested in doing. So it's definitely a lot of opportunity in this space. Depending on how you do want to move forward or what you may want to do, you can do different things. Like I said, they have it designing your own. They have the chocolate section. You can customize it, and so they are fully now like a branding with the M&Ms. And so it's just showing you opportunity. We've wanted to go over some of the other ones, like the Artifact. You have the opportunity to do some, and then of course showing you even how Snoop Dogg is using his. And then, of course, now you have the Bored Ape, which they've done other things. You have restaurants and other things too, but putting it out there, see some of these counts. And some people may not find that limited edition M&M or something important, and they might feel it expires someday or something. Who knows? But for other people, like you see this limited edition, that one probably was sold out real quick because it's 100. But this was more showed also to show you, okay, hey, these are some things that I can be looking to do, or I have the opportunity to do with some of the IPs that I may have in my wallet. And if it's the right IP, the brands will come looking for you or also. So
I think when you think about it, most people are literally like one connection away from doing something big with their items. Having that right business aspect of what you're going to do for a longer term play could be a big game changer when you start looking at whether it's M&M or any of the companies that are out there that are partnering. Even with I think we talked about it even earlier as far as even with the restaurant, some months ago. That's who would ever thought that a Bored Ape would have like a restaurant. They would theme it behind something with
I would have, because that was one of my ideas. So I would have definitely thought that.
I know you would have, because we
So
talked about
I'm glad they did it.
But the regular people normal people, regular people who are not in the space,
That's right.
have no idea, would have never even considered this being an option for them of
That's
owning
right.
something that you could have bought. Again, would decided to depend on when you bought your item. The potential of what you can do and how much money you can make. I mean, there's no other business that you can go out and do that with. I mean, it's going to take you a ton of money in order to go out and find them. Again, not to say that Bored Apes are down. I mean, they are down right now. What, 70 something ETH? I don't know the last price. I haven't checked it, but they're still a 6-figure item. And so I literally crack up with people who are like, well, hey, NFTs are dead, or they're about to go. They're not going to really be here anymore. It's like, okay, yeah, they're down, but at the same time, when you really, really look at a lot of these projects, and I'm not saying for people who have bought in high, because you're going to always have that aspect where people who have bought in high on projects when the market was great. So I'm not belittling that or anything. But for people who got into some of these projects very early on, and which is quite a few people who bought a lot of these items very early, who are still who've been in the NFT space, they didn't buy theirs for these higher price. They were the ones selling them. Obviously, they did make a ton of money, but when they originally bought these items, you're talking about couple $100. And so just that potential there, and to say that it's dead. Okay, well, I'm sorry if they bought it for $1,000 or $2,000, it's at $100,000. It's like, that's crazy to say that they're dead. It's like, okay, what they made $100,000 and it's bad. It's not a bad scenario. But again, I do understand. I sympathize for people who've bought in on items that are high, and hopefully, again, like everything, we're hoping that the market's going to come back around, or at least Ethereum price can come back around to where those people who bought can definitely go make their capital. But have some other ideas of how to get that capital back. From using your IP information that you own on those different items. So just want to say that.
Yeah, and then they even have, like I said, they have the NFT behind it, also, that you be able to buy. Of course, you need the NFT to have access to certain things, and so this one, it did come out selling higher, but they're all like And then, like I said, if you want to do more research, Moy was into it to show you the IP and how people are doing. But it just hold on this card is access to the world of kingship, both online and in real life. Collect all four for the highest tier of access. Check the official kingship Discord and Twitter. So not only did they have the M&Ms that they're selling, but they had another NFT, NFT that gives you access to that, or access to certain online and real life events. And so some people, see value in that, especially if you have it connected to your project. You'll have making money from the NFT of the holders that are with it. And of course, they'll determine what the market value of it is. And sometimes that can go very high and it can be low. So it depends on the items. It may not be too high because it's an M&Ms, but as they build out and they add other stuff, like they say, you've seen stuff for weddings and stuff like that. And so this is just another, just showing you again how the projects are, even if as a business, how if you're applying NFTs also to them, you can be making the revenue of money from that side of things also, along with the physical or the goods of the actual food that they were serving, like the M&Ms.
So just said, we are not saying to go buy the NFT. We're literally showing you the opportunities of like the M&Ms and how you can do your different IP information with items you own. Again, do your research as far as if you want to buy this particular NFT. We don't own this NFT. Not saying it's a bad NFT. Not saying any of those things. But again, it was to show you the M&M aspect of it. So, but again, this can get your ideas from things that they're doing. It's like, why create the wheel when you have people who are doing some things already? Like if you want to be first, it's going to take a little bit of time. But at the same time, there's the opportunity. The sky's the limit. It literally is. They actually look really good. Yeah, congrats to them. Congrats. That's really awesome to see that other people are still doing stuff with their NFTs.
That's right. And then just some more of the some of the VEVE stuff going on. They had some drops coming up. This is just showing you. So because of where it's at, sometimes where they'll have exclusive drops for the designers of what they're doing and at the event that they're having. You can see there's going to be different times. And so the different people will be putting out different designs. So VEVE still, depending on when you did buy your VEVEs, if you're selling them, still if you're getting them for $70 or $100 and you're still able to sell things for thousands of dollars, you're still in a good position with certain specific items on VEVE. Of course, the count and the edition and even what item it may be is important too of reselling if you're looking at an investment. If not, if you're just looking at a collector's point, which of course someday will probably maybe be sold. It could be passed on. You do still come in and look at those editions and the rarity and the count. And lots of them have been blind box, so it's not like you have been able to go for specific ones, but sometimes there may be something that you can select it. But I've mostly seen blind box do a lot of those. And so this one will be happening September 4th. And let's see, is the one before that, or is it? Oh, it's the same one. I think I ended up putting it in here twice.
There was another one that looked like some Spider-Man thing. I wanted to say it was a Spider-Man thing. Let me see if I can go back and find it real quick on my screen. The
Marvel Doc.
Yeah, that one.
Okay. I don't know who that is, but he was somebody. I mean, obviously, I used to watch Spider-Man too, so he just don't look familiar right there. I was still go to the current Spider-Man movies, just but still, that's not the point. So some of these edition sizes you can see are higher up on these counts. This is the one that's starting quicker to the 31st, which is tomorrow, I believe. Yes, you can see the count there on those. The edition size 3,600, and then we'll go down. Of course, you're trying to get down to some of the secret rare or ultra rare. Oh, this only has secret rare, not even the ultra rare. And it is $50. You will take you can get, of course, with the blind box. You go in, you pay the $50. You see if you're going to be able to get a chance to hopefully get that ultra rare. If not, you may be able to get another item, but the least amount one for the common is the lowest. And to tell you the truth, some people have been able, depending if they've gotten those bots out, they've been able to wait for after the sale to get them cheaper. So it does depend on the sale that's happening. Depends on if there's bots that get them, because I've had it where they've come out for 50 and then they're going on sale for like 25. And so you can pay attention to some of that. Like I said, if you don't get it, just look for it in the secondary market. And if you're able to pick it up cheaper, then hey, you can pick it up cheaper.
That's good stuff. Really good. So there's enough for everybody to try to figure out something to buy.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's kind of all I had. Did you have some other stuff to?
No, I think that was like I said, just really coming on, just trying to figure out what the letting you guys know the market is still obviously still in the red, but there's still opportunity when you're trying to find some of the projects that have been out for some time. For us, we still buy. I'm very selective on what I'm buying, but I am buying items. I I literally bought some
Make
items.
sure that that's very, very selective. I mean, usually reinvesting in things we already have that
Already
have
invested
proven.
in. So let's be real clear. So it has been items that I'm already invested in, and I'm like, okay, this is on sale right now. Let me go on and buy a few more of those items. But again, it's there's this is again the opportunity aspect. I'm dollar cost averaging in, so I don't need nobody. You don't have to write to me and tell me I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. I've done this, and I'm risking money that I don't want to lose, but it's not like it ain't my mortgage. It ain't that payment. So be very selective on what you're buying right now. But if I get it, don't go full throttle in because again, we don't know how much crypto is going to come down. We really don't. But for me, my comfort level, if I'm here buying some items right now, I'll just if the market comes down, I'm going to buy some more of those same items. So, but again, that's the research that Jessica and I have literally done. I said, hey, I think this project's going to be around for some time, and what was the potential of where these projects where they used to be at. If they, I mean, some of the items, when you're looking at some of the artifacts items, or even some of these, any of the different items, some of those items were $50,000-$60,000. Will you ever get back to $50,000-$60,000? Who knows? But I'm willing to like check and see.
Yeah.
So,
Wait on it, see if there's a possibility.
literally, you think about it, we're almost in the same boat where we were at the very beginning when you looked at buying some of the artifacts items. Some of the ones that were $1,000 or $1,500 or even that are a couple $100 that you can still to get in on that project or any of the other projects that you may be looking at. If they only got to half of where they were at the peak, if they got to 75% of where they were at when they were at the peak, I think you're still going to be okay. So that's how for me that I've really been looking at stuff that if I am buying any items, I'll be like, okay, this is on sale. Let me buy this item. Again, not to say they can't go down any further, but if they go down further, I will buy some more of them. So be on the lookout as far as don't literally be trying to buy just these little pictures no more. I told you we told y'all a long time ago.
Well, yeah, because like even if we talk about some of the artifact stuff, like the monolith challenge is going to be starting back. Normally we got 3 items out of that, and the space pop burn is going to be coming up. And so there's certain things like we feel with land that are what the opportunities will be to come. So some of those things are low prices, or even the loot pods, they're down like the 200 or 300. And so if you have a space pod, you can connect it to that. So depending on what you are doing or what you've been trying to do in the space, those items for us would be, a go, depending on how many we have already. But when they're lower like that, if you do want to buy some, you can buy some. If you feel you already got enough and you good, and you just, waiting on the market to return. But some things,
I have some, and I'm going to buy some more because just like you said, we're looking at the potential again, just finding a good project that you believe in. Like I said, and I could be completely wrong, but I'm willing to. I know me. I'm investing in me. I trust myself.
Not financial advice. I'm just telling you.
Not your financial advice. I'm not listening to somebody on YouTube and buying what they told me to buy. I've done my research, and I feel people on YouTube are talking about what we're talking about buying, but it is still also a balance of saying, hey, let me do a little bit more research on this. I like this. I like the potential of where this can be. Because again, if you're buying a collection that has whether it's 5,000 or if it's 10,000 of those different items, understand that there's going to be there's only going to be 5,000 or 10,000 of the items, and so I get it. I get people who are on the sideline.
And that's very small. It's big right now because who in crypto or who buying NFTs. But once it's like mainstream is coming and everybody can get on, the onboarding is easy. They might be using their cards. Some people in crypto never will. But once all that happens and you be like, okay, and there's millions or billions of people in there, even for game assets, you're like 5, 10,000, even 50,000 items really won't be that many items. But right now, of course, it does seem like a lot.
Mm-hmm. But we'll be there to sell them because it's no different. We were laughing the other day, and not laughing in a bad way, but we're thinking about like how all your friends and family was calling you like, hey, I need to get in crypto. I need crypto. Bitcoin was at $50,000-$60,000. Everybody want to get in then. then it dropped down. You can't find none of your friends and family. You're like, what happened? So it's just a matter. And they didn't get in at 60. And so now it's back on sale. You're trying to tell them to convince them to get in. And they don't want to get in now because it still might keep. So it's like, you know what? I think we have come to the conclusion that we are not trying to convince people anymore. It's just a matter of like, hey, either you got to take the time and figure it out, look at some things, listen to some people. But if you're listening to the right people, you're going to be fine. You won't be looking at, you missed the .com and you missed all this other thing. You'll be like, okay, I got in on that one. But that's my thought on the situation. So Jessica, I think, are we good with everything else?
Yeah, we're good with everything. A little short today, but covered pretty good amount of stuff.
Yeah,
that was
good stuff. Really good information.
Only certain stuff going on. So we'll see.
Yeah. So remember, if you do have friends and family, continue to send them to our whatsnfts.com. If they're
you know what? Well, I can't say. I forgot the Real Player. They made like $56 million. I had the article, but they did some more funding, raising that $56 million for Real Player One. Some people may have got like the free Ferocious shoes and stuff when they were giving them out through Real Player One. But that's also going to be, the Avatar project where you can take your avatar, you can build an avatar out, or you can be able to take your avatars and be able, go to different platforms, I should say platforms or whatever, different virtual worlds, cross them over with that same avatar so that you're not trying to have to create one every platform that you have. And so you're able to build up your avatar. Some of us that have the CloneXs, of course, will be excited about taking our CloneXs to different virtual lands. Of course, they have the Sandbox, Essential Lands, Sonoma Space, and so forth. You can go on. So that is another thing that's people are still raising money and raising and funding, pulling in funding. Those that are still building in this market understand it and know that this is just part of the market cycle of the ups and the downs. But also knowing, especially going through these cycles, how to take profit, keep profit, or have something is really important too. Like, not to say don't be selling anything. We always say sell, take care of your life, take care of your kids, life-changing things, buy homes, buy houses. All that is so important. Make sure you can do those things in the real world of doing that. But also looking out for those people that are still investing and making that amount of money is really important. And also seeing what they're investing in to see what else is coming out.
Yeah, good stuff. Good. Okay, so good. All right, so remember, if you do have friends and family, send them to What's NFTs. If they're Googling us, if they're on Facebook, we're Sisters Talking NFTs. And so we will be back with you all again next week. We appreciate you guys hopping on. And we do have our YouTube channel that has plenty of videos on there talking about NFTs. So again, we were here in the NFT space, love the NFT space. So look forward to seeing you all again next week. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and we will see you all next week.
Yes, everybody have a great one.